All right, today we're going to look at a pretty simple piece of tech that could turn basically any car into its own first responder. Seriously. It's a system designed to call for help all by itself after a crash. And, it has the potential to save so many lives. So let's break it down.
Okay, I want you to imagine this for a second. A car crashes on some remote road late at night. Nobody's around to see it. What do you think is the single biggest danger for the people inside right after that initial impact?
It's the wait, that silence, the delay. Every single second that ticks by when no one even knows there's been a crash, well, it just dramatically reduces the chances of survival. They call this the golden hour, and it's absolutely critical. But in so many accidents, it's just wasted.
And look, this is not some theoretical problem. This number, 2,883, that's how many road fatalities were recorded in Nepal by just October of 2022. In a place with tough geography and, not so great road infrastructure, that delay between a crash and help arriving, it's a massive factor in that tragic number. So the bottom line is simple, right? Getting help to the scene faster saves lives.
So let's get into it. This deadly delay, that is the absolute core problem these researchers are trying to solve. Think about it. In so many parts of the world, especially in rural or remote areas, reporting an accident depends on someone seeing it happen or the victims themselves making a call. And a lot of the time, that's just impossible. So what if the car itself could just get rid of that delay? What if the vehicle could automatically figure out it's been in a crash and immediately send out an SOS with its exact location? I mean, that's the simple but really powerful idea behind this whole system. Okay, so the official name is the Vehicle Accident Detection and SMS Conveyor. And really, the key is right there in the name. It automatically detects the crash and sends an SMS, a simple text message. And that right there is a total game changer. Why? Because it doesn't need an internet connection. That makes it absolutely perfect for those remote areas where you've got spotty or no data coverage. All right, so how does a car even learn to do this? Let's dive into the tech. You might be surprised. It's actually built from a few simple, off-the-shelf parts that all work together in a really, really clever way. This diagram here kind of gives us the big picture view. The best way to think about it is like a team. You've got sensors that literally feel the crash. You've got a GPS module that knows exactly where it is, and a GSM module that can send out the message. And right there in the middle, you have the microcontroller. That's the brain, the team captain, coordinating the whole thing. So let's walk through what happens in an actual emergency. Okay, step one, the motion sensor detects a sudden violent change, a collision or a rollover. It instantly sends an alert to the brain, that ESP32 microcontroller. The brain immediately asks the GPS module, hey, where are we? And then it tells the GSM module, send this exact location to the emergency number right now. It's the super clean, logical, and incredibly fast sequence of events.
To make this even clearer, let's just meet the key players on the team, right? You've got the senses that detect the crash, the brain that processes everything, and the voice that calls for help. First up, we've got the senses. This little thing is the MPU 6050. It's a tiny but super powerful chip that has both an accelerometer and a gyroscope packed into it. So it's constantly monitoring the vehicle's movement, and it's smart enough to know the difference between, say, hitting a big pothole and a serious impact. When it feels a real crash, this is the component that sounds the internal alarm. Okay, next, you've got to know where the accident happened, right? That is the job of this guy, the Neo 7M GPS module. It's always talking to satellites to know its precise latitude and longitude. This is the single most crucial piece of information for guiding rescue teams right to the scene. And finally, this is the voice, the SIM800L GSM module. It's basically a tiny little cell phone. As soon as the brain gives it the location data, this module creates a text message and sends it over the normal cellular network to a number you've programmed in ahead of time, like the local police or an ambulance service. Okay, so the theory sounds great, the parts are all there, but the big question, of course, is, does it actually work? Well, the researchers put their prototype through its paces in some simulated driving scenarios to find out. And yeah, the results are crystal clear. Check this out. On the left, you see the system's data log during just normal driving. On the right, that's the log during a simulated accident. See that drive mode label? It flips from normal driving straight to hard disturbance. The system knew, without a doubt, that a crash happened, and it logged the exact time and location. And here it is, the money shot. This is a screenshot of the actual SMS that was received from the device.
It's so simple, so direct, and it has the most important information in the world at that moment, the precise coordinates of the crash. And get this, from the moment of impact to this message being sent, the whole process takes just a few seconds. Incredible. So this successful test, it's way more than just a cool tech demo. It really points toward a future where our own vehicles can play an active role in rescuing us. So let's kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. So what really makes this system so promising? Well, first off, it's a standalone unit. It doesn't need the internet at all. It's built with low-cost parts, so we're not talking about some expensive luxury feature. It cuts the reporting time down to just seconds. And because the design is so simple, it can be rolled out super widely. And this comparison right here, it really drives the point home. The old way, it's manual, it's slow, and honestly, it's unreliable. This system is completely automated, it's almost instantaneous, and it works anywhere you can get even a basic cell signal for a text. That's a fundamental shift in how we approach emergency response. And, the researchers themselves point out that the benefits go way beyond just that initial rescue. The data that gets collected can help law enforcement with their investigations. It can help transportation agencies pinpoint dangerous stretches of road. It really improves the entire safety ecosystem, from top to bottom. So this really leaves us with a final thought. This technology, it's not science fiction. It's here right now, and it works. It's built from simple, accessible parts to solve a hugely critical problem. So the question really is, if we have life-saving solutions that are this accessible, what's stopping us from making our roads safer for every single one of us?